Okay, well, welcome back to another episode of the map editor tutorial. This time we're going to be talking about rooftops. So here we go. Let's go to the layer. Let's go to roof. And you can see it's just darkened the screen, but you can still see the ground layer. And again, we want to be one tile above. So this building space would really be from here to here, because we're always one above. Okay, so that's what we kind of want to do now, is we would like to go through the different spaces. So let's review the tiles. We have the highest is the lightest, medium, and the darkest is the lowest. So if it's a darker color, it's lower, higher color, lighter color, it is higher. Plus we've got all the normal roof tiles, the corners, 4 corners right down there, the vertical and horizontal going on right there. And then we have this special sort of stop pieces that are very difficult to see unless you're using them and you can see that detail. And so what we're going to cover today is how to do those basic roof tiles, how to do some different layers of roofs and what those look like. We're going to take a look at the spotlights as a security measure. We're going to take a look at ziplines and the pipes that you can walk across. And we might even do a little bit, if I have time, to just throw up a wall right over here and kind of show you how that would work. Okay, so let's get started. Let's just throw roofs on pretty much everything. So I do want the roof edge to be the actual border of the wall in this case. So I want, let's go to, this is vertical, right? Yeah. So if this is the one above, I want it to actually be right there. And this is vertical, so I want this one to be right here. Oops. Okay. And I'm just going to go through and I'm going to try to do this for the entire prison. Why did I keep doing that? So bad. And then right here, again, we want to stay one up. We want to stay one up. Stay one up. Stay one up. Okay, I want to stay one up. I want to stay one up. I want to stay one up. Come on. None for solitary. Let's do up here. I want to stay one above. 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 One above. We're obviously going to go back in and you know, make these a bit more complicated. It's not just going to be all one level with just boxes on top, but it's nice to just kind of cover the tops of them. So let's just keep doing this until we're almost done. Staying one above. Oops. Always staying one tile, oops, to the north of where we actually, where the building is. And you only have to deal with this when you're doing the horizontal slats, because now that that's done, you can go ahead and put on right alongside, right above where it is. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go to do the, we didn't forget anything? Nope, it doesn't look like it. Okay, so we want to be right along the sides, right above where it is in ground layer now, when we do the sides, because it doesn't have to be one shifted. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go back around in the circle. And I'm going to leave the corners, because we don't need to do those yet. Corners will be last. And then you'll see what else we do. You could have the roof ledge go to the edge if you didn't want to do it like this, but then you could just step off the roof ledge if there's no edge to it. And I want all of mine to have edges. You can still get off. You can provide ways to jump off, which I will. On some of the ones you want to make sure the person can get down even if they don't have a rope. Sometimes you might want to strand them. You might want to say, hey, look, you should have brought a rope. But I don't... At least they should have a way back down the way they came. You should never have a ladder going up with no way back down. How often does that happen in real life, when you go up a ladder and then suddenly the stairs behind you disappear? There's no way back down, even though you just came up that way. Strange. Strange. I mean... Oh, sorry, dude. So now I'm going to put the corners on. This is the upper right, so let's just go ahead and do that everywhere. I'll just watch. For some reason he can't chat. I don't know why you can't chat, brother. Enjoy the stream despite not being able to chat. Alright, so that should be every... Whoops, we didn't even finish this guy. What's happening? Getting lazy. Alright, so we should have all of those guys done. And then the next one down is the upper left. So we'll just go ahead and... Actually, we should have started here, shouldn't we? Why do I keep finding all these things missing? That's very strange and disconcerting. Okay. And then we should, the next one's the lower right. And we got the lower left. Now you may say, hey, we're done. I mean, obviously we need floors, but hey, we're done. Looks like we forgot his little spot right there. But you'd be wrong about being done. There should be some glaringly obvious flaw to this look, but let's go ahead and fill in floors first. Let's go ahead and make sure they're all low layer. So let's just go do all low for right now. So darkest is the lowest. It doesn't look too dark, does it? Yeah, that's kind of what the underground looked like, I gotta be honest. I think it's gonna be one of those tiles. Yeah, I think it's probably gonna be the medium one. I wonder. There we go. Let's just take a look at the difference here between the tiles. Let's make this guy right here a little lighter. This guy right here, even lighter, so you can see the difference. So you have the darkest here. This would be the medium, and this would be the highest. None of that really matters. Unless you are dealing with grappling hooks and ropes and these areas right next to each other. Like these being right here doesn't matter at all that they're the same height right there. So I'm actually going to turn this one back to the darkest. We'll turn this one over here medium. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's by itself. It only matters from going from... if you have them next to each other and planted in. So let's do one of those now. Let me show you what it looks like. Let's finish the floors first, though. Yeah. There we go. Whole prison's done. Good to go. Okay, so let's show you what that would look like. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and put... Where do I want it to go? Let's say like roughly here. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the corner piece, see where we want to start it. Like let's say we want to start right there. And we use a normal corner. That's going to cut off the lower section. And what I want to do is just make like a little area that comes out to like say there. Whoops. Whoops. Made the boo-boo. I made the boo-boo. What is it? How many above there? 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. Let's close it off with this guy. Let's go back over there. Now we could make it a double. Whoops. Messing up all over the place. Now we could make it a double. Like we could bring it back like along right here so you have 2 roofs, which would mean you couldn't drop down. It's kind of inelegant and ugly. So let's just turn it back with another corner. And now you see this rooftop is clearly separate from this one. It even goes up here more. And so this one runs into it there. And so what you'd want to do then is you'd want to say, well, since this is the lowest, let's go to medium for here. And again, it only matters in terms of when they're next to each other like this. Otherwise, it doesn't really have much meaning at all. Okay, it's just detailing what you would need. So in this case, you'd be low because the darkest is lowest. And in order to go up here, you would need a grappling hook. Okay. So let's just leave that like it is. Let's talk about the next thing that we should talk about. Let's talk about the weird little thing that makes this level look strange. And it's the fact that you can see the top parts of this. You can see where the light is shining. And so in order to mask that, we're going to need a wall mask. You guessed it. Also, you might notice something else that's weird, which is this guy right here. That's not good. Okay, so let's take care of those problems. Let's first talk about wall masks. You have this little guy right here. That's just the top part of the wall mask. And you have the bottom part of the wall mask. So this is usually for a corner. And in my experience, it's that corner specifically. And just provides the look of a corner. And then you put this wall mask over everything else. We're going to fix that in a second. See that how that doesn't look quite right? That doesn't look quite right to me though. It seems too bright. This doesn't look right either, does it? This isn't supposed to be used on that side. No. So let's just fill in all these guys with the wall mask and get rid of that little light shaded portion. Then we're going to have to fix our roof to match our weird entrance. Okay, that should be everything. So let's fix this guy. What do we need here? We need this tile right there. One of these on each side. Gonna need this tile right here. And then we're going to copy this roof tile. So we're over top. And actually, because we have to stay one above, we just need to turn it back in right now, which would be this guy. And this guy. And we would want our wall mask right here and here and here. And so what that would mean is we could drop back down there. Really, we are one tile above it, so we should drop down front. Okay. Alright. So that's done and fun. Let's go ahead and talk about security. You can put random spotlights, and they will roam and bounce around in any space that you have. Just be careful of putting them in like really small spaces, especially smaller than this, like a tiny little. If you just have one spot and you put it there, and you put borders around it, it's going to really bug out. So give it space. The more space, the better. The more space, the better that you can give them to bounce off of the walls, the better that they'll do. 3 is plenty in this space right here. It's a pretty big space. You might want to add more. But that's pretty much all there is to it. Just don't put too many because it'll start glitching out. And don't put it in too small of a space because it'll start glitching into the roof tiles. Okay, so that's my advice for using spotlights. If you're seen in a spotlight, you will be caught. And I believe thrown into solitary. So, let's say another thing to remember. Let's go check. Let's go check vents. Let's find all of the vent ladders leading up. Ladder down. Alright, so we have one right here, and it's at 5711. Again, I'm reading it from over here. And as you see, as I hover over this spot, it says 5711. So I'm going to go back to my roof. I'm going to find 5711. 5711. I've got to put one down. And these should be at the exact same spot because the vents and roofs are lined up. So, what's the next one? I've got one at 6710 and 7210. 67 and 72. 67 and 7210. 67, 72, 10. 67 and 72, 10. Lovely. Lovely. It's lovely, isn't it? Isn't it lovely? Let's keep going. Vents. What else do I got? I got one over here at 7910. 7910. 7910. 7910. And I have one over here at 8628. 8628. 86, 86, 29, 28. And these should all return me back down into vents. Vents. Nothing here, nothing there. I do have one at 4231. 4231. 40 should be right around here. 4231. Right that corner. Look at that. Ain't she purty? Now let's say vents anymore? Yeah, I have two more. I have one at 1437 and 1441. 1437 and 41. 1437 and 41. 1437. 1441. There you go. Okay, I think that's it. No, we got one guy here as well, which is 1728. That should do it. 1728. 1728. Now, let's talk about this. So we've got these guys lighting the area up. I kind of would like to make a little defensive spot around where he's at. So I want to kind of want to make a little house so he won't get hurt. And we're just going to do that by going around here. And making a little fenced off area. And that way he'll be a little protected from the lights. Put one over here. But he can stand there and not get hit by them. And that'd be good. That'd be good. I like that. I like that a lot. And that way you give him a little space so that he doesn't have to get hurt. Now obviously I'm going to do a whole lot more with these roofs. I don't want to keep the video running an hour long like one of my last videos that I did at the ground level. So I'm probably going to build like, dividers, that, wall, just like I did here. I built this guy. I'll probably build like a wall like right there. Probably build like a different level right there. Just cut. Let's do that right now just to show you. Maybe we would do something like. I really don't know. Let's just do this. Let's say this. And let's go ahead and make this upper. Since these run into this one, so this one's higher up, in my opinion. That's how I do it. Okay, so cool. Let's look at some other things. Let's say you just wanted a way, I don't know. Let's say you wanted to use these guys over here, the roof pipes. So here's how we would do it. So let's say we wanted to go right across from here to here. Just draw it in a straight line. And then what you want to do is you want to go to your roof layer so it's the darkest. And just cut a piece out on both sides. And make sure it's still the roof. And not the pipe. You don't need the pipe going into it like that. As you can see the building underneath. That looks bad. You don't want it to look bad. So put it like that. But you're not done. Now these specialty pieces are going to come in. So these specialty pieces right here are the ones we want, I think. So for vertical it's these two, and for horizontal it's these two. I know it's super hard to see. I'll try to do 2 examples of each for you. So let's say let's just go ahead and do this. So this one's the top part of the vertical, because you can see the bottom. And it's going to go right here. Now you can see how it's a much different cut than if we just left it as a normal vertical. You see that? You see how it stops it there, and you can actually see the under part of that wall? That's the official block to use. That guy right there. And then to start it back up is the one above it, even though it looks the same as the vertical almost. When you put it in, it's a little crisper. You're going to see a line go to the top part of it. The top part of this block right here, there's going to be a black line across it. Ready? And you can see a small difference between this block and this block. This block has a line on top. This one does not. Now they both do. Nice and crisp, nice and clear. Let's say I wanted you to be able to fall off, say, let's just say right here. So we do the same thing. Copy a block. Boom. And we would go to the horizontal ones. And I believe we're going to have to try this out because I can't quite tell. I'm going to say this one's the left one. Yes, I was right. And this one's the right one. And you can see, again, that very subtle black line on both of them. This one to the left of the block, and this one to the right of this block. And that will let you just fall right off. Okay? And also, if you're doing things like pipes, comes in very handy. And let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do, I don't know. Let's do a zip line. Let's show how zip lines work. Let's do a zip line like right across from here, so you go over the, you go right over the Oops. And it doesn't matter. You can go from one layer here that can be one color to a totally different color. Totally different height. It doesn't matter with zip lines. It doesn't matter with pipes either. This could be higher up. You would just have to imagine that the pipe is slanted a little. And then we're going to put a zip line in. So let's go to zip lines. Actually, let's fix our blocks first. And we are vertical, so this is the top one. Just make it look nice and crisp. Makes it look more professional, people, more professional. And then what we want to do is we're probably going to move this guy because we don't want it to be right next to the zip line, but I do like the zip line going across the roll call area. You know, the more zip line time you have, the more fun it is. Unless you're doing it infinitely, and then it's not fun at all. So we want to have the line that starts. These are all the starters in which direction you're going to move. So I would put this guy right at the edge. Boom. But the guy that arrives, you do not want to put here. If you do that, you will hit it and fall off. And even though it's done that way on the deal, some certain of the maps in the game itself, it does not work in the map editor. You need to put it one back, and you will land here. Not on it, one before it. Okay? Do not have multiple sources ending at the same one. So I have like one leave from here and ending there, because then one of the ropes won't show up. There's no rope in the editor, but in the game you'll see a rope connecting them. But if you have two going to the same ending, it will not show up in my experience. And so that's pretty much how you do zip lines. It's just whatever direction you want the person to be moving in. Let's say I put this in. Oops. Let's say I put that in. The person would zoom off that way off the map, and there'd probably be no line because there's no ending for the line. They'd just zoom off this way and escape the map. It'd be pretty funny. I've done it before on maps. So make sure your stuff is going the right direction. There you go. And that's how you do a zip line. Obviously, as I figure out the escape, I'm going to have to get up here and do more of this kind of fine-tuning, fine crafting of what I want the levels to be. But it doesn't really matter for your sake. You can choose to do whatever you like. And the only consideration is when they're next to each other, like here or here, what is the person going to need? And so just always remember that darkest is lower, and that to get up there you need a grappling hook. To get from high to low, it's much easier. So if you want to default all of your rooftops to the highest, it's always going to be easier to get down because you can make the bedsheet rope for free. Whereas going up, it's going to be much more expensive to go up. Also remember that you can, from this level you can drop to the ground, but from this level you can also drop to the ground. If you don't want that to happen, you can double this up and make this a wall, and then bring this wall one in, so that you can't drop from this level. Okay. It would be stuck. You'd have to come down to here, and yes, the only thing you can do is come back down to this level, because you couldn't drop off the side like you can here. Like right now, if you had a bedsheet rope, you can go zoink down the side. But if you doubled it up, like, let's just do it. Let's just do it. What do we want to do here? Yeah. We're going to take that and move it one in, and then we're going to just copy this guy and just those two. And now the only way up here is from this side, this side, or this side, and you cannot get off the roof this way. It'll bug out and say blocked. Cool. And I kind of liked it better that way, actually. So we're going to leave it that way. Harumph. And that's everything that I have to tell you about rooftop layers. As I said, I could spend more time on this, but I don't want to let the video run too long, and I don't fully know my escape plan yet. I'm going to make an entire video on that, and some of the edits will be in there as I chop these roofs up into different sections. But that's pretty much it. I showed you how to use the specialty blocks, the vertical ones, the horizontal ones, to make nice crisp edges. And again, it's hard to see these in the map editor. I'm sure it's hard to see them in the video because there's no zoom. But once you're in-game and you're running around, it's incredibly obvious. Alright, so thank you again for watching the map editor tutorial on rooftops. If you liked it, make sure to click like and leave a comment. And if you're not subscribed, what's wrong with you? Where's the other corner? Oh, it's right over there. There's the other corner. Nope. Is it the other corner? Yeah, it is the other corner. There's the other corner. go. More corners! So there are 2 corners. Awesome sauce. Missed a building. Oh! And this guy. Oh! And that guy. Oh! And that guy. Anybody else? Anybody else? Any more wall masks? Where wall masks want to get their butts kicked? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they've had enough, guys. I think they've had enough. Let's make walls. Let's give it a door. That was professionally done. Okay. We now have our fictional first floor. And we're going to go to the roof. We're going to ignore the vents for a second. We're just going to go ahead and throw a roof up here. Oh, any old roof will do. Wanted to stay at one above, right? Normally we want to stay the one above. We want to stay the one above normally. So 2 things here. I'm doing this, whoops. Let's go ahead and put this rooftop in here. So we want to stay one above. So I'm doing it on top because that's fine. And I'm not going to do it on the bottom. Okay? Not going to do it on the bottom. We're going to do the side here like normal. But I want this one to come all the way to the wall. Let's put this corner on it up here, and then let's put the ground on it. This is what it will look like if you want to be able to have a rooftop escape. You need to have the roof edge go right to the wall edge, and that will allow you, if you have to direct access to the outside wall edge while on the roof layer, you use the grappling hook and it will vault you over. Same thing for the southern end or the northern side. You want it to go right up against the wall, even though that breaks the one tile ahead of it rule. You want it to hit it. You want it to directly touch. Okay? And that will allow you to go over. I know many people will have questions about that, but of course always make sure you play test it to make sure it's working correctly. Why is there like a barrel out in the middle of nowhere, a crate in the middle of nowhere? I have no idea.